Why, children? Why are you here? Why are you holding these branches tied with wool, begging me for help? Children, the whole city smolders with incense. Wherever I go, I hear sobbing, praying, groans fill the air. Rumors, news from messengers, they are not enough for me. Others cannot tell me what you need. I am king. I had to come. As king, I had to know for myself, know for me. Everybody, everywhere knows who I am. Oedipus, king. Priest of Zeus, we respect your age, your high office. Speak. Why are you kneeling? Are you afraid, old man? What can I give you? How can I help? Ask. Ask me anything, anything at all. My heart would be a stone if I felt no pity for these poor, shattered people of mine kneeling here at my feet.
Oedipus, Lord of Thebes, you see us, the people of Thebes, your people, crowding in prayer around your altar. Young children here, old men bent with age, priests in eye, the priest of Zeus, and our noblest young men, the pride and strength of Thebes. And there are more of us, Lord Oedipus, gathered in the city, stunned, kneeling, offering their branches, praying before the two great temples of Athena, or staring into the ashes of burnt offerings, staring, waiting for the gods to speak. Look at it, Lord Oedipus, right there in front of your eyes. This city, it reels under a wild storm of blood, wave after wave, battering Thebes. We cannot breathe or stand. We shiver. Our world hungers. It shivers with hunger. A disease hungers. Nothing grows. Wheat, fruit, nothing grows bigger than a seed. Our women bear dead things. All they can do is grieve. Our cattle wither, stumble, drop to the ground. Flies simmer on their bloated tongues. This plague spreads everywhere, a stain seeping through our streets, our fields, our houses. You are a man, not a god, I know. We all know. The young kneeling here before you know it too. But we know how great you are, Oedipus, greater than any man. When crisis struck, you saved us here in Thebes. You faced the mysterious, strange disasters hammered against us by the gods. This is our history. We paid our own flesh to the Sphinx before you set us free. You knew, no more than anyone, but you knew there was a God in it, a God in you.
Children, poor, helpless children, I know what brings you here. I know you suffer. This plague is agony for each of you. But none of you, not one, suffers as I do. Each of you suffers for himself, only himself. My whole being wails and breaks for the city, for myself, for all of you, old man. All of you. Everything ends here with me, I, and the man. You have not wakened me from some kind of sleep. I have wept, struggled, wandered in this maze of thought, tried every road, searched hard. Finally, I found one cure. Just one. I sent my wife's brother, Creon, to great Apollo's shrine at Delphi. I sent him to find out what I must say or do to save Thebes. But his long absence troubles me. Why isn't he here? Where is he? When he returns, What kind of a man would I be if I failed to do everything that God reveals?
You speak of Creon, and Creon is here.
Lord Apollo, look at him. His eyes glitter. Let his words blaze, blaze like his eyes, and save us. Lord Creon, what did the god Apollo say?
His words are hopeful. Once everything is clear, exposed to the light, we will see our suffering as blessing. All we need is luck.
What do you mean? What did Apollo say? What should we do? Speak!
Here, now in front of all these people, or inside, privately.
Stop! Say it. Say it in front of the whole city. I grieve for them, for their sorrow and loss, far more than I grieve for myself.
This is what I heard. There was no mistaking the god's meaning. Apollo commands us, cleanse the city of Thebes, cleanse the plague from that city, destroy the black stain spreading everywhere, spreading, poisoning the earth, touching each house, each citizen, sickening the hearts of the people of Thebes. Cure this disease, it wastes all of you, spreading before it grows so vast, nothing can cure it.
What is the plague? How can we purify the city?
A man must be banished or killed, blood for blood. The plague is blood breaking over Thebes.
Who is the man? Who is Apollo's victim?
My lord, before you came to power, before you came to Thebes, Laius was our king.
I know, but I never saw Laius.
Laius was murdered. Apollo's command was very clear: avenge the murderers of Laius, whoever they are.
But where are the murderers? The crime is old. How will we pick up their tracks? The killers could be anywhere.
Apollo said the killers are still here in Thebes. Pursue a thing and you may catch it, ignore it, it slips away.
And Laius, where was he murdered? At home, or was he away from Thebes?
He told us before he left, he was on a mission to Delphi. His last trip away from Thebes, he never returned.
Wasn't there a witness? Someone with Laius who saw what happened?
They were all killed. Except one man. He escaped, but he was so terrified he remembered only one thing.
What was it? One small clue might lead to others.
This is what I heard. Bandits ambushed Laius, not one man. They attacked him like hail crushing a stalk of wheat.
How could a single bandit dare attack a king unless he had supporters, people with money, here in Thebes?
There were suspicions, but after Laius died, we had no leader, no king. Our life was turmoil, uncertainty.
But once the throne was empty, what threw you off the track? What stopped you from searching until you uncovered everything, knew every detail?
The intricate heart song of the Sphinx persuaded us the crime was not important, not then. It seemed to say we should focus at what lay at our feet in front of us, ignore what we could not see.
Now, I am here. I will begin the search again. Reveal the truth. Expose everything. Let it all be seen. Apollo and you were right to make us wonder about the dead man. Like Apollo, I am your ally. Justice and vengeance are what I want for Thebes, for the god. Family, friends, I won't rid myself of this stain, this disease for them. They're far from here. I'll do it for myself, for me. The man who killed Laius might take revenge on me just as violently. So by avenging Laius' death, I protect myself. Rise, children, pick up your branches. Let someone announce my decision to the whole city of Thebes. I will do everything. Everything. And with the gods' help, we will be saved. Bright Apollo, let your light help us see. Our happiness is yours to give. Our failure and ruin, yours.
Rise, children. We have the hope we came for. The king himself has promised. May Apollo, who gifted us these oracles, come as our savior now. Apollo, heal us from this plague.
Voice who knows everything. Oh God, oh glorious voice of Zeus. How have you come from Delphi bathed in gold? What are you telling our bright city Thebes? What are you bringing me? Health, death, fear, I know nothing. So frightened, rooted here, awed by you. Healer, what have you sent? Is it the sudden doom of grief or the old curse? The darkness looming in the turning season.
Oh, holy immortal voice, hope, golden seed of the future, listen. Be with me, speak. These cries of mine rise, tell me. I call to you. Reach out to you first, holy Athena, God's daughter who lives forever, and your sister Artemis who cradles the earth. Our earth, who sits on her great throne at the hub of the marketplace.
And I call to Apollo, who hurls light from deep in the sky. O gods, be with us now. Shine on us your three shields, blazing against the darkness. Come into our suffering as you came once before into Thebes, O bright divinities, and through your saving light against the god of grief. O gods, be with us now.
Pain, pain, my sorrow has no sound, no name, no word, no pain like this. No spear, a strong, anxious thought protects us. Great Thebes grows nothing. Seeds rot in the ground. Our women, when they labor, cry, Apollo, Apollo, but their children die. And lives, one after another, split the air. Birds taking off, wing rush, hungrier than fire, souls leaping away, they fly to the shore of the cold god of evening west.
The death stain spreads. So many corpses lie in the streets everywhere. Nobody grieves for them. The city dies, and young wives and mothers, gray-haired mothers wail, sob at the altar steps. They come from the city everywhere, mourning their bitter days. Prayers blaze to the healer. Grief cries, a flute mingling. O daughter of Zeus, O shining daughter, show us the warm, bright face of peace, of help, of our salvation.
And turn back the huge, raging jaws of the death god Ares. Drive him back, drive him away. His flames lash at me. This is his war. These are his shields. Shouts pierce us on all sides. Turn him back, lift him on a strong wind, rush him away to the two seas at the world's edge. The sea where the waters boil, the sea where no traveler can land, because if night leaves anything alive, day destroys it. O Zeus, God beyond all other gods, handler of the fire, Father, make the god of our sickness ashes. Apollo, great bowman of light, draw back your bow. Fire arrow after arrow, make them a wall circling us. Shoot into our enemies' eyes, draw the string twined with gold. Come, goddess, who dances on mountains, sowing lights where your feet touch the ground. Blind our enemy, come, god of golden hair. Piled under his golden cap, Bacchus, your face blazing like the sea when the sun shines on it, like sunlight on wine. God whose name is our name, Bacchus, God of joy, God of terror, be with us now, your bright face, like pine torch roaring. Thrust it into the face of the enemy, war god, blind him, drive him down from Olympus, Drive him away from Thebes forever.
Every word of your prayers has touched me. Listen, follow me. Join me in fighting this sickness, this plague, and all your sufferings may end like a dark sky, clear suddenly, blue after a week of storms, soothing the torn face of the sea, soothing our fears. Your fate looms in my words. I heard nothing about Laius's death. I know nothing about the murder. I was alone. How could I have tracked a killer without a clue? I came to Thebes after the crime was done. I was made a Theban after Laius's death. Listen carefully. These words come from an innocent man. One of you knows who killed Laius. Where is that man? Speak! I command it. Fear is no excuse. He must clear himself of the dangerous charge. Who did this thing? Was it a stranger? Speak! I will not harm him. The worst he will suffer is exile. I will pay him well. He will have a king's thanks. But if he will not speak, because he fears me, if he fears what I will do to him or to those he loves, if he will not obey me, I say to him, my power is absolute in Thebes. My rule reaches everywhere. My words will drive the guilty man, the man who knows, out of the city, away from Thebes, forever. Apollo has made it clear. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can change my words. I fight for Apollo. I fight for the dead man. You see me. You hear me moving against the killer. My words are his doom. Whether he did it alone and escaped unseen, whether others helped him kill, it makes no difference. Let my hatred burn out his life. Hatred, always. Make him an ember of suffering. Make all his happiness ashes. If he eats at my side, sits at my sacred hearth, and I know these things, let every curse I spit out against him find me. Come home to me. Carry out my orders. You must, for me, for Apollo, and for Thebes. Thebes, this poor, wasted city, deserted by its gods.
Your curse forces me to speak, Master. I cannot escape it. I did not murder the king. I cannot tell you the man who did. Apollo told us to search for the killer. Apollo must name him.
No man can force the gods to speak.
Then I will say the next best thing.
If there is a third best thing, say that too.
Tiresias sees what the god Apollo sees. Truth. Truth. If you heard the god speaking, heard his voice, you might see more and more.
Tiresias, I have seen to that already. Creon spoke of Tiresias, and I sent for him twice. I find it strange he still hasn't come.
There's an old story, almost forgotten, a dark, faded rumor.
What rumor? I must sift each story, see it, understand it.
Laius was killed by bandits.
I've heard that story. But who can show me the man who saw the murderer? Has anyone seen him?
If he knows the meaning of fear, if he heard those curses you spoke against him, those words still scorching the air, you won't find him now, not in Thebes.
The man murdered. Why would words frighten him?
Here is the man who can catch the criminal, the godlike prophet who speaks with the voice of God. Only he knows truth. The truth is rooted in his soul.
Tiresias, you understand all things, what can be taught, what is locked in silence, the distant things of heaven and things that crawl the earth. You cannot see, yet you know the nature of this plague infesting our city. Only you, my Lord, can save us. Only you can defend us. Apollo told our messenger, did you hear? That we could be saved only by tracking down Laius' killers, only by killing them or sending them into exile. Help us, Tiresias.
Wisdom is a curse when wisdom does nothing for the man who has it. Once I knew this well, but I forgot. I never should have come.
Never should have come? Why this reluctance, prophet?
Let me go home. That way is best. For you, for me, let me live my life and you live yours.
Strange words, Tiresias. Cruel to the city that gave you life. Your holy knowledge could save Thebes. How can you keep silent?
What have you said that helps Thebes? Your words are wasted. I would rather be silent than waste my words.
Look at us, Tiresias, kneeling to you, imploring you. In the name of the gods, if you know, help us. Tell us what you know.
You kneel because you do not understand. But I will never let you see my grief. Never. My grief is yours.
What? You know and won't speak. You betray us all. You destroy the city of Thebes.
I will do nothing to hurt myself or you. Why insist? I will not speak.
Stubborn old fool, you'd make a rock angry. Tell me what you know. Say it. Where are your feelings? Won't you ever speak?
You call me cold, stubborn, unfeeling. You insult me. But you, Oedipus, what do you know about yourself? About your real feelings? You don't see how much alike we are.
How can I restrain my anger when I see how little you care for Thebes?
The truth will come by itself. The truth will come no matter how I shroud it in silence.
All the more reason why you should speak.
Not another word. Rage away. You will never make me speak.
I'll rage, prophet. I'll give you all my anger. I'll say it all. Listen. I think you were involved in the death of Laius. You helped plan it. I think you did everything in your power to kill Laius. Everything but strike him with your own hands. And if you weren't blind, if you still had eyes to see with, I'd say you, and you alone did it all.
Do you think so? Then obey your own words. Obey the curse everyone heard break from your own lips. Never speak again to these men of Thebes. Never speak again to me. You! It's you. What plagues the city is you. The plague is you!
Do you know what you're saying? Do you think I'll let you get away with these vile accusations?
I'm safe. Truth lives in me, and the truth is strong.
The truth is strong. But who taught you this truth of yours? Not your prophet's craft.
You taught me. You forced me to speak.
Speak what? Explain. Teach me.
Didn't you understand? Are you trying to make me say the word?
What word? Say it. Spit it out.
Murderer! I say you! You are the killer you're searching for.
You won't say that again to me and get away with it.
Do you want more? Shall I make you really angry?
Say whatever you like. Your words are wasted.
I say you live in shame and you do not know it. Do not know that you and those you love most wallow in shame. You do not know in what shame you live.
You'll pay for these insults, I swear it.
Not if the truth is strong.
You have no truth. You're blind. Blind in your eyes. Blind in your ears. Blind in your mind.
And I pity you for mocking my blindness. Soon everyone in Thebes will mock you, Oedipus. They'll mock you as you have mocked me.
One endless night swaddles you in its unbroken black sky. You can't hurt me. You can't hurt anyone who sees the light of day.
True. Nothing I do will harm you. You and your fate belong to Apollo. Apollo will see to you!
Are these your own lies, prophet? Or Creon?
Creon! Your plague is you, not Creon.
Money. Power. One great skill surpassing another. When a man has these things, other men's envy grows and grows. Their greed and hunger are insatiable. Most men would lust for a life like mine, but I did not demand my life. Thebes gave me my life. And from the beginning, my good friend Creon, loyal, trusted Creon, was reaching for my power, wanted to ambush me, get rid of me by hiring this cheap wizard, this crass, conniving priest who sees nothing but profit, whose prophecy is simple profit. You! What did you ever do that proves you a real seer? What did you ever see, prophet? And when the Sphinx, who sang mysteriously, imprisoned us, why didn't you speak and set us free? No ordinary man could have solved her riddle. It took prophecy. Prophecy and skill you clearly never had. Even the paths of birds, even the gods' voices were useless. But I showed up. I, Oedipus, stupid, untutored Oedipus. I silenced her. I destroyed her. I used my wits, not omens, to sift the meaning of her song. And this is the man you want to kill, so you can get close to King Creon. Weigh his affairs for him, advise him, influence him. No. I think you and your master Creon will be whipped out of Thebes. Look at you. If you weren't so old and weak, oh, I'd make you pay for this conspiracy of yours.
Oedipus! Both of you spoke in anger. Anger is not what we need. We need all our wits, all our energy to interpret Apollo's words. Then we will know what to do.
Oedipus, you are king, but you must hear my reply. My right to speak is just as valid as yours. I am not your slave. Creon is not my patron. My master is Apollo. I can say what I please. You insulted me. You mocked me. You called me blind. Now hear me speak, Oedipus. You have eyes to see with, but you do not see yourself. You do not see the horror shadowing every step of your life, the blind shame in which you live. You do not see where you live and who lives with you, lives always at your side. Tell me, Oedipus, who are your parents? Do you know? You do not even know the shame and grief you've brought your family, those still alive, those buried beneath the earth. But the curse of your mother, the curse of your father will whip you. It will whip you again and again wherever you turn. It will whip you out of Thebes forever, your clear eyes flooded with darkness. That day will come.
Must I stand here and listen to these attacks?
I am here, Oedipus, because you sent for me.
You're a fool! I'd have thought twice before asking you to come if I'd known you'd spew out such idiocy.
Call me fool if you like, but your parents who gave you life, they respected my judgment.
Parents? What do you mean? Who are my mother and father?
This day is your mother and father. This day will give you your birth. It will destroy you too.
How you love mysterious, twisted words.
Aren't you the great solver of riddles? Aren't you Oedipus?
Taught me for the gift of my brilliant mind? That gift is what makes me great.
That gift is your destiny.
It made you everything you are, and it has ruined you.
But if this gift of mine saved Thebes, who cares what happens to me?
I'm leaving.
Good! Here I keep stumbling over you. Here, you're in my way. Scuttle home and leave us in peace.
I'm going. I said what I came to say. And that scowl darkening your face doesn't frighten me. How can you hurt me? I tell you again, the man you've been trying to expose with all your threats, with your inquest into Laius's murder, that man is here in Thebes. Now people think he comes from Corinth, but later they will see he was born in Thebes. When they know, he'll have no pleasure in that news. Now he has eyes to see with, but they will be slashed out. Rich and powerful, now he will be a beggar, poking his way with a stick, feeling his way to a strange country. And his children, the children he lives with, will see him at last, see what he is, see who he really is. Their brother and their father, his wife's son, his mother's husband, the lover who slept with his father's wife, the man who murdered his father, the man whose hands still drip with his father's blood. These truths will be revealed. Go inside and ponder that riddle. And if you find I've lied, then call me a prophet who cannot see.
Coded crimes, unnameable things, words cringe at. Which man did the rock of prophecy at Delphi say did these things? His hands dripping with blood. He should run now, flee, his strong feet swallowing the air. Stronger than the horses of the storm winds, their hooves slicing the air.
Now in his armor, Apollo lunges at him. His infinite branching fire reaches out, and the steady, dread, death-hungry fates follow and never stop. Just now from high snowy Parnassus, the god's voice booms its blazing message. Follow his track. Find the man no one knows.
A bull loose among wild bushes and trees, among caves and gray rocks. Cut from the herd, he runs and runs, but runs nowhere. Zigzagging, desperate to get away, birds of prophecy, birds of death circling his head forever. Voices forge at the white stone core of the earth. They go where he goes, always.
Terror's in me, flooding me. How can I judge what the god Apollo says? Trapped, hoping, confused. I do not see what is here now. When I look to the past, I see nothing. I know nothing about a feud wounding the families of Laius or Oedipus. No clue to the truth then or now. Nothing to blacken his golden fame in Thebes and help Laius' family solve the mystery of his death.
Zeus and Apollo know. They understand. Only they see the dark threads crossing beneath our life. But no man can say a prophet sees more than I. One man surpasses another. Wisdom against wisdom, skill against skill. But I will not blame Oedipus whatever anyone says until words are as real as things.
One thing is clear. Years back, the Sphinx tested him. His answer was true. He was wise and sweet to the city. So he can never be evil. Not to me.
Men of Thebes, I hear Oedipus, our king and master, has brought terrible charges against me. I've come to face those charges. I resent them bitterly. If he believes that I have hurt him, spoken, or acted against him, while our city dies, believe me, I have nothing left to live for. His accusations pierce me, wound me mortally. Nothing they touch is trivial. If you, my friends and family, think I'm a traitor, if all Thebes believes it, says it.
Perhaps he spoke in anger without thinking. Perhaps his anger made him accuse you.
Did he really say I persuaded Tiresias to lie?
I heard him say these things, but I don't know what they mean.
Did he look you in the eyes when he accused me? Was he in his right mind?
I do not know or see what great men do, but here he is, Oedipus.
What? You here, murderer! You dare come here to my palace when it's clear you've been plotting to murder me and seize the throne of Thebes? You're the bandit. You're the killer. Answer me! Did you think I was cowardly or stupid? Is that why you betrayed me?
You've said enough, Oedipus. Now let me reply. Weigh my words against your charges, then judge for yourself.
Eloquent Creon. But you won't convince me now that I know your hatred, your malice.
Let me explain.
Explain! What could explain your treachery?
If you think this stubborn anger of yours, this perversity is something to be proud of, you're mad.
And if you think you can injure your sister's husband and not pay for it, you're mad.
I would be mad to have hurt you. How have I hurt you?
Was it you who advised me to send for that great, holy prophet?
Yes, and I do it again.
How long has it been since Laius disappeared?
Disappeared?
Died. Was murdered.
Many, many years.
And this prophet of yours, was he practicing his trade at the time?
With as much skill, wisdom, and honor as ever.
Did he ever mention my name?
Not in my presence.
Was there an inquest? A formal inquiry?
Of course, nothing was ever discovered.
Then why didn't our wonderful prophet, our Theban wizard, denounce me as the murderer then?
I don't know. And when I don't know, I don't speak.
But you know this. You know it with perfect certainty.
What do you mean?
This! If Tiresias and you were not conspiring against me, Tiresias would never have charged me with Laius's death.
If he said that, you should know. But now, Oedipus, it is my right, my turn to question you.
Ask anything. You'll never prove I killed Laius.
Did you marry my sister Jocasta?
I married Jocasta.
And you gave her an equal share of the power in Thebes.
Whatever she wants is hers.
And I share that power equally with you and her.
Equally? And that's precisely why it's clear you're false, treacherous.
No, Oedipus! Consider it rationally as I have reflect. What man, what sane man would prefer a king's power with all of its dangers and anxieties when he could enjoy that same power without its cares and sleep in peace each night? Power, I have no instinct for power, no hunger for it either. It isn't royal power that I want, but its advantages. And any sensible man would want the same. Look at the life I lead. Whatever I want, I get from you with your goodwill and blessing. I have nothing to fear. If I were king, my life would be constant duty and constraint. Why would I want your power or the throne of Thebes more than what I enjoy now? The privilege of power without its cares. I would be a fool to want more than what I have, the substance, not the show of power. As matters stand, no man envies me. I am admired and courted by all men. Wear no smiling mask for Creon. And those who want something from you come to me, because the road to royal favor lies through me. Tell me, Oedipus, why should I give up these blessings to seize your power with all the dangers it confers? A man like me who knows his mortal limits and accepts them cannot be vicious or treacherous by nature. The love of power is not in my nature, nor is treason, or the thoughts of treason that come with the love of power. I would never dare conspire against your life.
Good words for someone careful. Afraid he'll fall, but a mind like lightning stumbles.
When a clever man plots against me and moves swiftly, I must move just as swiftly. I must plan. But if I wait, if I do nothing, he will win everything, and I will lose.
What do you want? My exile?
No! Your death.
You won't believe me. You won't change your
I'll
mind.
believe you when you teach me the meaning of envy.
Envy. You speak of envy. You don't even know what sense is. Can't you listen to
I
me?
am listening to my own good sense.
Listen to me. I have sense on my side, too.
You were born devious.
And if you're wrong.
I still must govern.
Not if you govern badly.
Oh, Thebes, Thebes!
Thebes is mine, too!
Stop! I see Jocasta coming from the palace just in time, my lords, to help you settle this deep, bitter feud raging between you. Listen to what she says.
Oedipus, Creon, why this insane quarreling? You should be ashamed, both of you. Forget yourselves. This is no time for for petty personal bickering. Thebes is sick, dying. Oedipus, come inside. And you, Creon, leave us. Must you create all this misery over nothing? Nothing!
Jocasta, Oedipus has given me two impossible choices. Either I must be banished from Thebes, my city, my home, or be arrested and put to death.
That's right. I caught him plotting against me, Jocasta, viciously, cunningly plotting against the King of Thebes.
Take every pleasure I have in life. Curse me. Let me die if I have done what you accuse me of. Let the gods destroy everything I have. Let them do anything to me. I stand here exposed to their infinite power.
Believe him, Oedipus. His prayer has made him holy. Naked to the mysterious whims of the god has taken him beyond what is human. Respect his words. Respect me. Respect these men standing at your side.
Listen to her.
Think. Yield.
We implore you.
What do you want?
Be generous to Creon. Give him respect. He's never been foolish before.
And now his prayer to the gods has made him great.
Great and frightening.
Do you know what you're asking?
I know.
I know.
Then say it.
Don't ever cut him off.
Without rights or honor. Blood binds you both.
And his prayer has made him sacred.
Don't accuse him.
Because some blind suspicion hounds you.
Understand me. When you ask for these things, you ask for my death or exile.
No.
By the sun, the god who bathes us in his light.
Who sees all.
I would die godless. No family, no friends.
If what I ask means that it is Thebes.
Thebes dying, wasting away life by life. This is the misery that breaks my heart.
And now this quarrel raging between you and Creon.
is more than I can bear.
Then let him go. Even if it means I must be put to death or sent into exile, stripped of all my rights, all my honors. Your grief, your words touch me, not his. I pity you. But him, my hatred will reach him wherever he goes.
It's clear you hate to yield. Clear you yield only under pressure, only when you've worn out the fierceness of your anger. Then all you can do is sit and brood. Natures like yours are a torment to themselves.
Leave. Go!
I'm going. Now I know you do not know who I am, but these men know I'm the man I seem to be, a just man, not devious, not a traitor.
Woman, why are you waiting? Lead him inside. Comfort him.
Not before I know what has happened here.
Blind, ignorant words, suspicion without proof.
From both men?
Yes.
What caused it?
Enough, enough. No more words. Thebes is so tormented now. Let it rest where it ended.
Look, we're cooling my rage, where all your decent, practical thoughts have led you.
Oedipus, I have said this many times before. I would be mad, helpless to give you advice if I turned against you now. Once you took our city in her storm of pain, straightened her course, found fair weather. Oh, lead her to safety now, if you can.
If you love the gods, tell me too, Oedipus. I implore you. Why are you still so angry? Why can't you let it go?
I will tell you, Jocasta, you mean more, far more to me than these men here. Jocasta, it is Creon. Creon and his plots against
What
me.
started your quarrel?
He said I murdered Laius.
Does he know something? Or is it pure hearsay?
He sent me a vicious, troublemaking prophet to avoid implicating himself. He did not say it to my face.
Oedipus, forget all this. Listen to me. No mortal can practice the art of prophecy. No human can see into the future. One experience of mine will show you why. Long ago, an oracle came to Laius. It came not from Apollo, but from his priests. It said, Laius was doomed to be murdered by a son. His son and mine. But from what we know, Laius was murdered by bandits from a foreign country, cut down at a crossroads. My poor baby was only 3 days old when Laius had his feet pierced behind the ankle and gave orders to abandon him on a mountain in a wilderness of rock and bare gray trees with no roads, no people. So you see, Apollo didn't make that child his father's killer. Laius wasn't murdered by his son. That act, which so terrified Laius, it never happened. All those oracular voices meant was nothing. Nothing. Apollo creates. Apollo reveals. He needs no help from men.
While you were speaking, Jocasta, it flashed through my mind like wind suddenly ruffling a stretch of calm sea. It stuns me. I can almost see it, some memory, some image. My heart races and swells.
Why are you so strangely excited, Oedipus?
You said Laius was cut down near a crossroads.
That was the story. It hasn't changed.
Where did it happen? Tell me where!
In Focus, where the roads from Delphi and Dahlia meet.
When?
Just before you came to Thebes and assumed power. Just before you were proclaimed king.
Oh, Zeus, what are you doing with my life?
Why are you so disturbed, Oedipus?
Don't ask me! Not yet. Tell me about Laius. How old was he? What did he look like?
Streaks of gray were beginning to show in his black hair. He was tall, strong, built something like you.
No. Oh, God. Oh, it seems each hard, arrogant curse I spit out was meant for me. But I didn't know it.
Oedipus, what do you mean? Your face is so strange. You're frightening me.
It is frightening! Can the blind prophet see? Can he really see? I would know if you told me.
I'm afraid to ask, Oedipus. Told you what?
Was Laius traveling with a small escort or with many armed men like a king?
There were 5, including a herald. Laius was riding in his chariot.
Light. Oh, light. Light. Now everything is clear. All of it. Who told you this? Who was it?
A household slave. The only survivor.
Is he here in Thebes?
No. When he returned to Thebes and saw that Laius was dead and you were king, he came to me, clutched my hand, begged me to send him to the mountains where the shepherds grazed their flock so he could never see Thebes again. I sent him, of course. He deserved that much for a slave and more.
Can he be called back? Now?
Easily, but why?
I'm afraid I may have said too much. I must see this man now!
Then he will come. But surely, I have a right to know what disturbs you, Oedipus.
Having come this far, Jocasta, hope torturing me, each step of mine heavy with fear. I won't keep anything from you. Wandering through the mazes of a fate like this, how could I confide in anyone but you? My father was Polybus of Corinth. My mother, Merope, was Dorian. Everyone in Corinth saw me as its first citizen, but one day, something happened. Something strange. Puzzling, but nothing more. One night, I was at a banquet, and a man, he was very drunk, said I wasn't my father's son, called me bastard. That stung me. I was shocked. I could barely control my anger. I lay awake all night. The next day, I went to my father and mother. I questioned them about the man and what he said. They were furious with him, outraged by his insult, and I was reassured. But I kept hearing the word, bastard. Bastard. I couldn't get it out of my head. Without my parents' knowledge, I went to Delphi. I wanted the truth, but Apollo refused to answer me. And yet he did reveal other things. He did show me a future dark with torment, evil, horror. He made me see myself, doomed to sleep with my mother, doomed to bring children into this world where the sun pours down, children no one could bear to see, doomed to kill the man who gave me my life, whose blood is my blood, my father. And after I heard all this, I fled Corinth. I measured my progress by the stars, searching for a place where I would never see those words, those dreadful predictions come true. And on my way, I came to the place where King Laius was murdered. Jocasta, the story I'm about to tell you is the truth. I was on the road, near the crossroads you mentioned, and I met a herald with an old man, just as you described him. The man was riding in a chariot, and his driver tried to push me off the road, and when he shoved me, I hit him. I hit him. The old man stood quiet in his chariot until I passed under him. And then he leaned out and caught me on the head with an ugly goad. Its 2 teeth wounded me, and with this hand of mine, this hand clenched around my staff, I struck back even harder. So hard, so quick, he couldn't dodge it. And he toppled out of the chariot and hit the ground, face up. I killed them. Every one of them. I can still see them. If this stranger and Laius are somehow linked by blood, tell me, what man torment equals mine? These hands, these blood-stained hands made love to you in your dead husband's bed. These hands killed him. If I must be exiled, never to see my family, never to walk the soil of my country, so I will not sleep with my mother and kill Polybus, my father who raised me. His son. Wasn't I born evil? Answer me! Isn't every part of me unclean?
Your words make us shudder, Oedipus. But hope until you hear more from the man who witnessed the murder.
That is the only hope I have. Waiting for that man to come from the pastures.
And when he finally comes, what do you hope to learn?
If his story matches yours, I am saved.
What makes you say that?
Bandits! You said he told you bandits murdered Laius, so if he still talks about bandits, more than one. I couldn't have killed Laius. One man is not the same as many men.
Believe me, Oedipus, those were his words. And he can't take them back. The whole city heard him, not only me. And even if he were to change the smallest detail in his story, that still won't prove that Laius was murdered as the oracle foretold. Apollo was clear. Laius was doomed to be murdered by my son, but my child died before his father died. The future has no shape. The shapes of prophecy lie. I see nothing in them.
Even so, I want that shepherd summoned here. Now. Do it now.
I'll send for him immediately. But come inside. My only wish is to please you. Fate, be here. Let what I say be pure. Let all my acts be pure. Laws forged in the huge clear fields of heaven rove the sky, shaping my words, limiting what I do. Olympus made those laws, not men who live and die. Nothing lulls those laws to sleep. They cannot die, and the infinite God in them never ages.
Arrogance, insatiable pride breed the tyrant. Feed him on thing after thing blindly, at the wrong time uselessly. And he grows, reaches so high nothing can stop his fall. His feet thrashing the air, standing on nothing. And nowhere to stand, he plunges down. Oh God, shatter the tyrant. But let men compete. Let self-protection grow. Let men sharpen their skills. Soldiers, citizens, building the good city.
Apollo, protect me always. Always the God I will honor. If a man walks through his life arrogant, strutting proud, says anything, does not fear justice, fear the God's presence to his bow.
Let fate make him stumble in his tracks for all his lecheries and headlong greed. If he takes whatever he wants, right or wrong, if he touches forbidden things, what man who acts like this would boast he can escape the anger of the gods? Why should I join these sacred public dances when such acts are honored?
No, I will never go to that holy untouchable stone navel at the earth at Delphi. Never again go to the temples at Olympia and Abai. If all these things are not joined, if past, present, and future are not made one, made clear to mortal eyes.
Oh, Zeus,
that is your name.
Power above
all
all
mortal kings, see these things. Look, those great prophecies are fading. Men say they're nothing. Nobody prays the God of light. No one believes nothing of the God's days.
Lords of Thebes, I come to the temple of the gods with offerings, this incense and this branch. So many thoughts torture Oedipus. He never rests. He acts without reason. He is like a man who has forgotten everything he knows. The past is useless to him. Strange new things frighten him. If someone talks disaster, he is stunned. He listens, he is afraid. I've tried to reassure him, but nothing helps. So I've come to you. Apollo, close to my life, close to my home. Listen to my prayer. Help us purify ourselves of this disease. Protect us. We are afraid when we see Oedipus frightened and confused. Oedipus, the only man who can pilot Thebes to safety.
Friends, can you tell me where King Oedipus lives? Or, better yet, where I could find him?
Here in this house, this lady is his wife and the mother of his children.
May you and your family prosper. May you be happy always under this great roof.
Happiness and prosperity to you too for your kind words, but why are you here? Do you bring news?
Good news for your house. Good news for King Oedipus.
What is your news? Who sent you?
I come from Corinth, and what I have to say I know will bring you great joy. And pain. Perhaps I don't know.
Both joy and pain. What news could do that?
The people of Corinth want Oedipus as their king.
But isn't old Polybus still king of Corinth?
His kingdom is his grave.
Polybus is dead?
If I'm lying, my lady, let me die for it.
You, go in and tell Oedipus. Oh, oracles of the gods, where are you now? The man Oedipus was afraid he would murder, the man he feared, the man he fled from, has died a natural death. Oedipus didn't kill him. It was luck. Luck!
Jocasta, why have you sent for me?
Oedipus, listen to what this man has to say, and see what those holy, ominous predictions of Apollo mean now?
Who is this man? What does he say?
He comes from Corinth. Polybus is dead. Your father is dead.
What? Let me hear these words from your own mouth, stranger. Tell me yourself in your own words.
If that's what you want to hear first, then I'll say it. Polybus is dead.
How did he die? Assassination? Illness?
An
How?
old man's life hangs by a fragile thread. Anything could have snapped it.
Poor old man. It was illness then?
Illness and old age?
Why, Jocasta? Why should men look to the great hearth at Delphi, or listen to birds shrieking and wheeling overhead? Cries meaning I was doomed to kill my father. He is dead, gone, covered by the earth, and here I am. My hands never even touched a spear. I did not kill him. Unless he died from wanting me to come home. No. Polybus has bundled up all these oracles and taken them with him to the world below. They are only words now, lost in the air.
Isn't that what I predicted?
You were right. My fears confused me.
You have nothing to fear. Not now, not ever.
The oracle said I am doomed to sleep with my mother. How can I live with that and not be afraid?
Why should men be afraid of anything? It is best to live in the moment. Live for today, Oedipus. Why should the thought of marrying your mother make you so afraid? Many men sleep with their mothers in their dreams. Why worry? See your dreams for what they are. Nothing. Nothing at all. Be happy, Oedipus.
All you're saying is right, Jocasta. I know it. I should be happy. But my mother still lives. As long as she's alive, I live in fear. This fear is necessary. I have no choice.
Oedipus, your father's death is a sign, a great sign. The sun's gaze now holds us in its warm and hopeful light.
A great sign, I agree. So long as my mother is alive, my fear lives too.
Who is this woman that frightens you so much?
Merope, King Polybus' wife.
Why does Merope frighten you so much?
A harrowing oracle hurled down upon us by some great god.
Can you tell me? Or did the gods seal your lips?
I can. Long ago, Apollo told me I was doomed to sleep with my mother. Doomed to spill my father's blood, murder him with these two hands of mine. That's why I never returned to Corinth. Luckily, it would seem. Still, nothing on earth is sweeter to a man's eyes than the sight of his father and mother.
You never returned to Corinth because of this prophecy?
Yes, and because of my father, to avoid killing my father.
But didn't my news prove you have nothing to fear? I brought good news.
I will reward you for your kindness.
That is why I came, my lord. I knew you would remember me when you returned to Corinth.
I will never return. Never live with my parents again.
Son, it is clear you don't know what you're doing.
What do you mean?
If you're afraid to go home because of your parents...
I am afraid. Afraid Apollo's prediction will come true, all of it. As God's sunlight grows brighter in a man's face at dawn, when he's in bed, still sleeping, and reaches into his eyes and wakes him.
Afraid of murdering your father, of having his blood on your hands.
Yes! His blood! The stain of his blood!
But Oedipus, then you have no reason to be afraid.
I'm their son! They're my parents. Aren't they?
Polybus is nothing to you.
Polybus is not my father.
No more than I am.
But you are nothing to me. Nothing.
And Polybus is nothing to you either.
Then why did he call me his son?
Because I gave you to him. With these hands, I gave you to him.
How could he have loved me like a father if I am not his son?
He had no children. That opened his heart.
And what about you? Did you buy me from someone, or did you find me?
I found you squalling, left up to die in the thickets of Cytheron.
Cytheron? What were you doing on Cytheron?
Herding sheep in the high summer pasture.
You were a shepherd, a drifter, looking for work.
A drifter, yes, but it was I who saved you.
Saved me? Was I hurt when you picked me up?
Ask your feet.
What? Why did you bring up that childhood pain?
I cut you free. Your feet were pierced, tied together at the ankles with leather thongs strung between the tendons and the bone.
That mark of my shame, I've worn it from the cradle.
That mark is the meaning of your name. Oedipus. Swollen foot. Oedipus.
Oh, God. Who did this to me? My father? My mother?
I don't know. The man I got you from, he might know.
So you didn't find me. Somebody else gave me to you.
I got you from another shepherd.
What shepherd?
I don't know. He worked for Laius.
The same Laius who was king of Thebes.
The same Laius. The man was one of Laius' shepherds.
Is he still alive?
These people would know that better than I do.
Do any of you know the man he's talking about? Have you ever noticed him in the field or in the city? Answer if you have. It's time everything came out. Time everything was made clear. Everything!
I think he's the shepherd you sent for, but Jocasta, she would know.
Jocasta. Do you know this man? Is he the man this shepherd here says worked for Laius?
What man? Forget about him. It's not worth talking about.
How can I forget with clues like these in my hands? With the secret of my birth staring me in the face.
No, Oedipus. No more questions. Isn't my anguish enough? More than enough?
You have nothing to fear, Jocasta, even if my mother and her mother before her were both slaves. That doesn't make you the daughter of slaves.
Stop! I beg you, Oedipus, stop!
Nothing can stop me now. I must know everything. Everything!
Oedipus, for your own good!
Damn my own God!
Oh, Oedipus. I pray to the gods, you never see who you are.
You! Find that shepherd. Bring him here. Let that woman bask in the glory of her noble birth.
You were born to suffer, born to misery and grief. These are the last words I will ever speak, Oedipus. Ever.
Why did Jocasta rush away, fleeing in such pain, Oedipus? I fear disaster or worse would break from the silence of hers.
Let it break! Let everything break! I must discover who I am. Know the secret of my birth, no matter how humble, how vile. Perhaps Jocasta is ashamed of my low birth, ashamed to be my wife. Like all women, she is proud. But look, goddess who gives men all that is good made me, and I won't be cheated of what is mine. Nothing can dishonor me, ever. I am like the months. My brothers, the months. They shaped me when I was a baby in the cold hills of Cytheron. They guided me. They carved out my time of greatness, and they still move their hands over my life. I am the man I am. I will not stop until I know who my parents are. Old man, I think the man coming toward us now must be the shepherd we're looking for. I've never seen him before, but the years chalking his face and hair tell me that's the man. You probably know him?
I do know him. If Laius ever had a man he trusted, this was the man.
You. Is this the man you told me about?
That's him. You're looking at the man.
You there. Come closer. Answer me, old man, did you work for Laius?
I was born his slave and grew up in his household,
What was your work?
herding sheep all my life.
Where?
Cithaeron mostly, and the country around Cithaeron.
Did you ever see this man?
Which man?
This man standing here.
Oh,
Have you ever seen him before?
Not that I remember.
no wonder, master, but I'll make him remember. He knows me. We used to graze our flocks together in the pastures around Cithaeron every year for 6 whole months, 3 years running. I had 1 flock, he had 2, and when the frost came, I drove my sheep back to their winter pens, and he drove his back to Laius's fold. Remember, old man, isn't that how it was?
Yes, but it was all so long ago.
And do you remember giving me a baby boy at this time to raise as my own son?
What if I do? Why all these questions?
That boy became King Oedipus, friend.
Damn you! Can't you keep quiet?
Don't scold him, old man. It's you who deserve to be punished, not him.
What did I say, good master?
You haven't answered his question about the boy.
He's making trouble, master. He doesn't know a thing.
Tell me or you'll be sorry.
For God's sake, don't hurt me. I'm an old man.
You, hold him. We'll make him talk.
Oedipus! Oedipus! God knows I pity you. What more do you want to know?
Did you give the child to this old man? Speak! Yes or no?
Yes, and I wish to God I'd died that day.
You will be dead unless you tell me the whole truth.
And worse than dead if I do.
It seems our man won't answer.
No! I told you already. I gave him the boy.
Where did you get him? From Laius's household or where?
He wasn't my child. He was given to me.
By whom? Someone here in Thebes?
Master, please, in God's name, no more questions.
You're a dead man if I have to ask you once more.
He was one of the children from Laius's household.
Slave child? Or Laius's own?
I can't say it. It's awful. The words are awful. Awful.
And I'm afraid to hear them. But I must.
He was Laius's own child. Your wife inside the palace, she can explain it all.
She gave you the child?
My lord, yes.
Why?
She wanted me to abandon the child on a mountain.
His own mother?
Yes. There were prophecies, horrible oracles. She was afraid.
What oracle?
Oracles predicting he would murder his own father.
Then why did you give the child to this old man?
Because I pitied him, master, because I thought the man would take the child away, take him to another country. Instead, he saved him for, oh gods, fate so horrible, so awful, words can't describe it. If you were the baby that man took from me, Oedipus, what misery, what grief is yours?
Light. Light. Light! Never again flood these eyes with your white radiance! Oh God, my eyes! Oh, all the oracles have proven true. I, Oedipus, I am the child of parents who never should have been mine. Doomed. Doomed! Now everything is clear. I lived with a woman She was my mother. I slept in my mother's bed. And I murdered my father, whose blood flows in these veins of mine. Whose blood stains these two hands red.
Man after man, O mortal generations, here once, almost not here. What are we? Dust, ghosts, images, a rustling of air, nothing.
We breathe on the abyss. We are the abyss. Our happiness no more than traces of a dream. The high noon sun sinking into the sea, the red plume of its wake raining behind it.
We are you. We are you, Oedipus, dragging your maimed foot in agony. And now that I see your life finally revealed, your life fused with the gods, blazing from the black nothingness of all we know, I say, no happiness lasts. Nothing human lasts. Wherever you aimed, you hit. No archer had your skill. You grew rich, powerful, great. Everything came falling to your feet, O Zeus, after he killed the Sphinx, whose claws curled under, whose weird song of the future baffled and destroyed.
He stood like a high tower above our country, warding off danger. From then on, Oedipus, we called you king, our king, draped you in gold. Our highest honors were yours, and you ruled this shining city.
I wish, O child of Laius, I wish I had never seen you. I grieve for you. Wail after wail fills me and pours out. Because of you, my breath came flowing back. But now, the darkness of your life makes me shudder.
Noble citizens, honored above all others in Thebes, if you still care for the house of Laius, if you can still feel the spirit of those who ruled before you, now the horrors you will hear, the horrors you will see will shake your hearts and shatter you with grief beyond enduring. Not even the waters of those great rivers, Esther and Phasis, could wash away the blood that darkens every stone of this shining house. This house that will reveal soon the misery and evil two mortals, both masters of this house, have brought upon themselves. The grief we cause ourselves cuts deepest of all.
What we already know has hurt us enough, has made us cry out in pain. What more can you say?
This. Jocasta is dead. The queen is dead.
Oh, poor unhappy Jocasta. How did she die?
She killed herself. She did it. But you did not see what happened there. You were not there in that palace. You did not see it. I did. I will tell you how Queen Jocasta died. The whole story. All of it, all I can remember. After her last words to Oedipus, she rushed past us, through the entrance hall, screaming, raking her hair with both hands, and threw herself into the bedroom, their bedroom, and slammed the door shut as she lunged at her bridal bed, screaming, "Laius! Laius!" Dead all these years. Remembering Laius, how his own son years ago grew up and then killed him, leaving her to sleep with her own son, to have his children, their children. Children, not sons, not daughters. Something else. Monsters. Then she collapsed, sobbing, cursing the bed where she held both men in her arms, got husband from husband, children from child. We heard it all. But suddenly, I couldn't tell what was happening. Oedipus came crashing in. He was howling, stalking up and down. We couldn't take our eyes off of him, and we stopped listening to her pitiful cries. We stood there, watching him move like a bull, lurching, charging, shouting at each of us to get him a sword, demanding we tell him where his wife was, that woman whose womb carried him and his children, the wife that gave him birth. Oh, some god, some demon led him to her. And he knew. None of us showed him. Suddenly, a mad, inhuman cry burst from his mouth, as if the wind had rushed through his tortured body. And he heaved at those bedroom doors, so that the hinges whined and bent from their sockets, and the bolts snapped. And he stood in that room. There she was. We could see her. His wife, dangling by her neck from a noose, braided silken cords, tied to a rafter, still swaying. And when he saw her, he bellowed and stretched up and loosened the rope, cradling her in one arm, and slowly laid her body on the ground. That's when it happened. He ripped off the gold brooches she was wearing, one on each shoulder of her gown, and raised them over his head. You could see them flashing, and tilted his face up and brought them right down into his eyes. And the long pins sank deep, all the way down into the sockets. And he shouted at his eyes, "Now you won't see me. You won't see my agonies or my crimes. But in endless darkness always you'll see those I never should have seen. And those I should have known were my parents, father and mother. Oh, these eyes will never see their faces in the light. These eyes will never see the light again. Never!" Cursing his two blind eyes over and over, he lifted the brooches again and drove them through his eyeballs up to the hilts until they were pulp, until the blood streamed out, soaking his beard and cheek. A black storm splashing its hail across his face.
But now does this torn, anguished man have any rest from his pain? No, then he shouted at us and told us to open the doors and show everyone in Thebes his father's killer, his mother's. I cannot say it. Once we see him as he is, he will leave Thebes, lift the curse from the city, banish himself, cursed by his own curses. But all of his strength is gone. His whole life is pain. He needs help, someone to guide him. He is blind and alone. Look now, the palace doors are opening. A thing so horrible will appear before you. You will shudder with disgust and try to turn away as your hearts will swell with pity for what you see.
What madness entered you, clawing even more misery into you?
So much that I would know, so much that I would see. No, the shape of your life makes me shudder.
This voice of agony. I am. What place am I? Where? Not here. Nowhere I know. What force, what tide breaks over my life? Pain, demons stabbing into me, leaving nothing. Nothing. No man I know, not human fate, howling out of nowhere. What am I? Fire? A voice? Where? Where is it being taken?
Beyond everything, to a place so terrible, nothing is seen there, nothing is heard.
Sing! Sing! Darkness spilling into me. My black cloud smothering me forever. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can escape. I cannot push you away. I am nothing but my own cries breaking again and again. The agony of those gold pins. The memory of what I did stabs me again. Again!
What can you feel but pain? It all comes back, pain and remorse and pain, to tear you apart with grief. What you did was horrible, but how could you quench the fire of your eyes? What demon lifted your hand?
Why should I have eyes? Why? When nothing I saw was worth seeing, nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, friend, nothing. No one to see. No one to love, no one to speak to, no one to hear. Oh, friends, lead me away now.
Oh, I pity you. I weep for your fate and for your mind, for what it is to be you, Oedipus. I hope you'd never seen the man you are.
I hate the man who found me, cut the thongs from my feet, snatched me from death, cared for me. I wish he were dead. I should have died up there on those wild, desolate slopes of Citharon. Then my pain, and the pain those I love suffer now, never would have been.
These are my wishes too.
And I never would have murdered my father. Never heard men call me my mother's husband. Now, I am Oedipus. Oedipus, who lay in that loathsome bed, made love there in that bed, his father's and mother's bed, the bed where he was born. No gods anywhere. No, not for me. No, unholy, broken man. What man ever suffered grief like this?
How can I say what you did was right? Better to be dead than to live blind.
I did what I had to do. No more advice. Opened my eyes when I went down into that black, sightless place beneath the earth. The place where the dead go. How could I have looked at anything? With what human eyes could I have gazed upon my father and my mother? Oh God, my mother. What I did against those two, not even strangling could punish. Oh God. God, hide me now, far away from Thebes. Kill me, cast me into the sea, drive me where you will never see me, never again. Touch this poor man. Touch me. Don't be afraid to touch me. Believe me, nobody but me can bear this fire of anguish. It is mine. Mine.
Creon has come. Now he, not you, is the sole guardian of Thebes, and only he can grant you what you ask.
What can I say to him? How can anything I say make him listen now? I wronged him. I accused him. And now everything I have said proves I am vile.
I have not come to mock you, Oedipus. I have not come to blame you for the past.
Creon, if you love the gods, grant me what I ask. I have been vile to you, worse than vile. I have hurt you terribly, and yet you have treated me with kindness, with nobility. You have called my fear. You do not turn away from me. Do what I ask. Do it for yourself, not for me.
What do you want from me, Oedipus?
Drive me out of Thebes. Drive me somewhere no one can speak to me, somewhere no one can see me again.
Believe me, I would have done it long ago. But I refuse to act until I know precisely what the god desires.
Apollo has revealed what he desires. Everything is clear. I killed my father. I am polluted and unclean. I must die.
That was his command. But there is no precedent for what has happened here. We must know before we act.
Do you care so much for me? Enough to ask Apollo for me? Oedipus?
Even you will trust the god now, I think.
I will. And I turn to you. I implore you, Creon. That woman lying dead inside. Your sister. Give her whatever burial you think best. As for me, never let this city of my father see me again in Thebes. Let me go and live on the mountain, on Citharon, the mountain my parents intended for my grave. Let me die the way they wanted me to die. Slowly. Alone. Die their way. As for my sons, Creon, they're both grown men. They can look out for themselves. But my daughters, those two poor girls of mine who have never left their home before, never left their father's side, who ate always at my side, who shared whatever was mine, I beg you, Creon, care for them, love them. But more than anything, I want to touch them. Let me touch them with these hands of mine. Let them come to me so we can grieve together.
I have brought them to you, Oedipus. Knowing how much you love them, knowing the joy you would feel if they were here.
May the gods who watch over the path of your life, Creon, prove kinder to you than they were to me.
Come in. No more grief.
I must. But obedience comes hard.
Everything has its time.
First promise me this.
Name it.
Banish me from Thebes.
I cannot. Ask the gods for that.
The gods hate me!
Then you will have your wish.
You promise?
I say only what I mean.
Then lead me in.
Come with me, Oedipus. All the great power you once had is gone. Gone forever.
O citizens of Thebes, this is Oedipus, who solved the famous riddle, who held more power than any mortal. See what he is. All men gazed on his fortunate life. All men envied him. But look at him. Look. All this man had, all this man was pulled down and swallowed by the storm of his own life and by the God. Keep your eye on that last day, on your dying. Happiness and peace, they were not yours. Unless at death, you can look back on your life and say, I lived. I did not suffer.